Food Fraud Defense Program. Food fraud is a collective term used to encompass the deliberate and intentional substitution, addition, tampering, or misrepresentation of food, food ingredients, or food packaging, or false or misleading statements made about a product for economic gain. The SQF practitioner, production manager, and chief operating officer assess our food fraud vulnerability annually. This is done to improve our program and make sure there are no ways for us to commit food fraud. Cooks must follow their recipe cards as closely as possible and adhere to the batch weight tolerance rule as well. Every cook should have a recipe card in their utensil bin, and the batch weight tolerance is posted a couple spots on the walls. Baggers do hourly quality checks and they fill out their label verification log. Shipping and receiving only accepts products from approved suppliers, and they add the traceability sheet information into the computer to ensure that customers are getting the correct products. Allergen control procedures. There are 6 major allergens in our plant: almonds, cashews, pecans, walnuts, pistachios, and peanuts. Technically, we do have 6 listed in our HACCP plan and in our SQF code. However, typically we only run 4 of these. The 4 most frequently used allergens in our plant are almonds, cashews, pecans, and peanuts. The purpose of this procedure is to establish a process for the use and control of allergens. These processes shall be designed to prevent cross-contamination of allergens from allergen-containing products to non-allergen-containing products. The production manager is responsible for providing adequate training for all employees to understand their responsibilities and need for compliance with these allergen control procedures. This training must be done for all new employees and for all current employees on at least an annual basis. The production manager is responsible for establishing the sanitation verification and changeover protocols in order to protect against cross-contamination between allergens and between allergens and non-allergens. The shipping supervisor is responsible for the proper storage of ingredients and finished products in a manner so as to avoid cross-contamination from allergens. The production manager is responsible for the production scheduling so as to have allergen-containing products scheduled in a manner to eliminate as many allergen sanitation cleanups as feasible. Sanitation standard operating procedures must be documented and include detailed steps needed to adequately clean each piece of equipment, including motors, belts, kettles, augers, hoppers, utensils, tools, etc. All sanitation activities performed must be documented as to who performed the cleaning and who inspected the adequacy of the cleaning. At any time, an allergen-containing product is to be followed by a different allergen-containing product or by a non-allergen-containing product, then a full documented cleanup must take place immediately after the allergen-containing product has been run. This question trips a lot of people up when it comes up. If somebody asks you how often do you have to perform a full allergen cleanup, the correct answer is every time you change an allergen. However, in the cooking room, we do a full allergen cleanup at the end of every shift. The reason for this distinction is in the bagging room, it can take up to an entire shift to clean one of the machines. In the cooking room, it takes about an hour to an hour and a half once you learn the cleaning process thoroughly. So very different cleaning times, so we decided it was best to just have the cooks clean a full allergen cleanup at the end of every shift. All pralinators, production tools, utensils, pails, totes, etc. used for allergen-containing ingredients and products must be used only for their intended purpose, or there must be a documented cleaning of the tool or utensil immediately after using it for an allergen-containing ingredient or product. Spills in the production areas involving ingredients or products must be promptly cleaned up using designated allergen cleanup tools. Allergen-containing ingredients must be stored separate from different allergens or from non-allergen-containing ingredients. These should be separated in the storage racks by having non-allergens on the top racks with an allergen ingredient below. One allergen should not be stored above another allergen. There must continually be vertical separation. Easiest way to think of vertical separation is if you're in the raw materials room and you have almonds stacked above the sugar, that's a potential food safety risk. Why? Because if a box of almonds happens to get open somehow, it's damaged when it's put up, so there's a leak in the box. Some of those almonds spill out. There's also a bag of sugar that's slightly open. Some of the almonds now have gotten into that sugar. You use that sugar not realizing that there's almonds in it, and you're cooking, let's say, pecans. Now, all the pecans you've cooked that day could potentially be exposed to the almond allergen. However, if you stored it the opposite way and had the sugar on top and the almonds on the bottom, if the same thing happened, all that's going to happen is you're going to get a little bit of sugar in your almonds. That's not a safety risk. It might be a quality risk depending on how much sugar makes its way into a box, but it's not going to get somebody sick. Nobody's going to have an allergic reaction to it. So that's the importance of vertical separation, is if there is a spill, will the product that's directly under it still be safe? Each tree nut must be treated as a separate allergen. Thus, cashews, pecans, and almonds are all separate allergens and must be handled as such. Peanuts, not being a tree nut, also are handled separately. If any spills of allergen-containing ingredients occurs, they must be promptly cleaned up using the designated allergen cleanup tools. The effectiveness of the storage plan must be audited monthly. This audit can be included in the monthly plant self-audit, but all results and corrective actions must be documented.